How's everybody? I hope you're well. Let me get my thing adjusted here. All right, so I'm going to briefly share a little bit today about a program that I'm involved in uh, called All In Discipleship. And it is a part of Recovery Prison Ministries. Uh, Recovery Prison Ministries has been around for 15 or 20 years, doing mostly prison and jail ministry. Celebrate Recovery has been a big part of our outreach, our programming. We love Celebrate Recovery. But today I want to talk a little bit about something else that we're getting involved in. We've been trying to get this program off the ground for a couple of years. And frankly, I was just about to give up on it, confessing that not everybody is meant to do everything. We have our specific callings, I believe. And perhaps I wasn't called to this. But I have listened to friends and read the Word, studied the Word in regard to this discipleship program. I began by believing that it was a program that would show churches how to adopt men and women coming out of prisons. And at the time, we were doing a lot of prison ministry and had been doing that for years and years. And the frustrations of seeing the recidivism rate in the prisons was just overwhelming. Heartbreaking. 8 out of every 10 are going to go back to prison the way things stand now. It's a sad situation. So anyway, I pushed as hard as I could. I even begged a few times for churches to consider adopting people into a discipleship program and trying to help them find the path to freedom in so many needed areas of their lives. We just couldn't get it done. So I even left the ministry over it, the prison ministry, actually. Things kind of blew up, and I decided it was time to retire. And then later, Celebrate Recovery, the same thing. I was ministry leader and had been for years and years and years. It was probably time for me to go. I was so intent on bringing the adoption program into Celebrate Recovery that it caused some problems. And so once again, I retired. I'm old enough that I can get by with retiring. That would be fine, but the fire in me still rages strongly, and it's not about to retire. So a good friend of mine recently told me in regard to this discipleship program, he said, look, don't confuse bad timing with bad programs. And so taking that to heart, I listened to God, and I believe he shared with me some insight into this discipleship program that might prove to be very helpful. We recently had a very successful experience by discipling a young man who came out of jail, county jail. He didn't have a penny. He had nothing. And 4 of us men took him under our wing. We discipled him. He's been under our watch care and part of our lives for about 6 months now, close to it, 5 to 6 months. He's doing great. Using that as an example, there are others as well that we could discuss, but he's the most recent. And you can hear his story actually live on my podcast. It's Freedom Road Unchained, and you can find it on all the major platforms that broadcast podcast. So check it out. There's some other good stuff on there too, but Wayne's story is the one that you're looking on if you want to hear his testimony about the discipleship program and how it's changed his life. And I'm going to have an opportunity tomorrow to share the program with a group of people in a Christian auxiliary program at a local Air Force base. A friend of mine is the director of a ministry called All In Ministries. And the charge is a retreat associated with that. That is just an absolute awesome experience. You can find more about that online at All In Ministries, and specifically the charge. I can't tell you what a great opportunity this is to both be ministered to and to minister. It is discipleship, alive and well, thriving with power and thunder. Heaven's thunder, the mighty thunder of God. Yeah, man, it works if you work it. And these guys are working it. So Stuart is the gentleman's name. His flight group nickname is Scar. He's a godly man, and I'm proud to call him my friend. So we're going to introduce this on this Air Force base, and who knows, from there, perhaps it'll go to every military base around the world, in this country and around the world. It's that kind of a program. I'm going to just read to you my notes that I'm going to share with them tomorrow. And I know that many people have a desire to serve, to make a difference, but it's difficult to get a good fit. So I just want to share this with you. These are my notes for tomorrow. Basically, it says the purpose of our program, the AID program, All In Discipleship, which is a part of All In Ministries, which is a partner to Recovery Prison Ministries. Okay. The purpose is to follow biblical instructions and examples of helping others through discipleship. I think that discipleship is crucial. I think it is what Jesus taught us. We're so used to these days of having churches and other authoritative venues tell people what to do, how they should change their lives, and make it clear to them that they're failing and they're going to go to hell if they don't change. And then they send them out to go make those changes. Well, it's not working too good, you know. And that is absolutely not the example that Christ set for us. He gathered up 12 old boys, I'll call them. They were just average guys, very much like a lot of other average guys in this modern world today. They were fishermen. They were poor men. They were hardworking men. One was a scoundrel. He was a tax collector, but the rest were men of good reputation. But they didn't have any wherewithal. And so for 3 years, Jesus discipled them. He kept them with him. He discipled them, and he poured into them. He corrected them. He was patient with them. He loved them. He used them. Once he gave them what he had, they were empowered to work for the kingdom with authority and power, because Jesus gave them that. So I believe that discipleship is a most powerful way to change the lives of men and women. I know it is. It's what helped me and blessed me. I have helped others and blessed others. Discipleship is absolutely the missing link to changing lives, I believe, in the world today, because we're too busy, or we're too self-centered, or we're too cowardly, or too uppity to get our hands dirty and engage the needy, the lost, the hurt, the dying with discipleship. It's time we reconsidered that thinking. All right, number one, Uh, the program overview. Basically, it's a 4-person group that engages needy individuals, offering support, guidance, freedom, and love through hands-on discipleship. Number 1, universal application. All people, everywhere. That's our potential audience, our potential pool of those that need discipleship. It's universal. They're everywhere. Number 2, composition. 4 people comprised of 1 group leader and 3 warriors. That's the 4-person small group. Smaller discipleship groups may form 2 or 3 individuals. However, they should actively strive to complete their group of 4. It helps to have 4 people. It's the 4 corners of discipleship, the 4 cornerstones of discipleship. And each can help each other. Together we form a bond, a chain, which is impossible to break. This is a program that is gender specific, men with men, ladies with ladies, couples with couples, and teens with teens. General information. Number 1, while this program will be administered and implemented by born-again believers, most of whom will be affiliated with a community church, this ministry will remain autonomous and its own 501c3 nonprofit. We are non-denominational and independent by design and purpose. However, we will endeavor to partner with local churches across the nation and around the world. Other like-minded ministries, faith-based recovery groups, federal, state, and local, county prisons and jails and their administrations, including probation and parole, judges, prosecutors, and more. Number 2, we will offer assistance as needed to any and all groups, individuals, or entities requiring assistance. We will make available a complete program manual, providing ongoing guidance and instructions for program establishment and maintenance. We will be on call to help with difficult situations, such as knowing how and when to terminate the relationship, when and if necessary, with love and dignity. We will help guide you to resources and affiliates. We believe strongly in cooperative efforts and alliances. Number 3, potential candidates can be identified from many groups and sources. Here are some. Churches. Churches are full of sick, broken people. Many, if not most, could use some discipleship. Hundreds of established benevolent and outreach organizations and programs. A lot of programs are out there, but many lack long-term discipleship as part of their composition and their access. We would like to make that available to all of them. The legal system, from the courthouse to the jailhouse. I cannot say enough about the opportunities that exist in the legal system. It's archaic. It's a mess. We can make a difference. We can make a big difference. We can change the percentage of people going back to prison again and again and again. The recidivism rate, as they say, we can cut it in half easily, and then maintain a continual decline. Common sense stuff, not complicated, not scientific, not political. Common sense stuff that works if you work it. The armed forces, every base. First responders need encouragement, need discipleship. Drug treatment programs and affiliates. What happens to the folks when they put them back on the streets or send them home, wherever that happens to be? What happens then? I'll tell you what needs to happen. They need to be in a meaningful, long-term discipleship program to stay sober. Government programs. so many without any merit. Well-meaning, but poor results. Let's change that. Homeless shelters. Thank you, homeless shelters, but then where do they go when they leave the homeless shelter? What does their life look like then? We need to hook up with all of them and be available to offer meaningful discipleship services. And more and more and more. All right. Listen to this. I believe this. It's happened in my life. Once we commit to God to disciple and bless others, God will make the necessary arrangements and provide as needed. I believe that includes introducing us to the people that he would have us to bless and help. So if you have any interest, you can contact me. There's a lot of ways to get a hold of me. I'm not going to take the time to tell you all that. You can Google my name, Rick Tolliver. And I am an author. I wrote a book called World War Me by Rick Tolliver. So you can track me down on Google, and I've done some other things too. I have a podcast, I have a blog. You'll find me, and you can contact me. My phone numbers are there too, and my email addresses are there too. So just Google me, Rick Tolliver. If you want some more information, if you want to talk to me, if you want me to send you information, whatever, I'll do it. I am looking for a couple million brave souls, and the time is now. And if not me, then who? You want to give back to God, honoring him for what he's done for you and your life? What does he say in his word? Go out and disciple all nations. Teach them. He's talking to me. How about you? All right. Thanks so much for listening to me. If you would pass this along, I'd like for others to see this broadcast. And it doesn't matter where you're at, any place in the world. We can hook up and we can do something wonderful for the kingdom and for brothers and sisters. God bless you. Easy does it. Till next time.